every year, I think at Esomar, we try to do some new things at the Congress to see the way in which our industry can do things differently. It's been very interesting to me today to watch a couple of the presentations earlier this morning that really showed some innovation in the way in which they got across their message. And really, the idea behind Research Idol was just that. What we wanted to do was to ask individuals to stand up and be prepared to get on stage and deliver what they felt was a real message, some real idea about their attitudes to a particular subject within the market research field, and explain it with no props, no PowerPoint, no charts. Just explain it in a way that entertained you, made you remember it, and made them memorable. And hopefully that reflects what we're going to do with our clients. We're going to deliver the message that makes a difference to them and make ourselves memorable enough so that they want us to come back and deliver the next message.
I think we have to take a leaf out of what Esomar has done this year, introducing new talent. We have to create innovation hubs where, in the same way that you would invite the best brain, we've just seen in the talk by Joan Elena, to create solutions to problems, maybe our big companies can take a leaf out of that and bring in maybe key European companies to create little hubs where we can create the best of for our country.
I think the best thing would be to have people that are very passionate about research, like the two of us, and many more here, and just like spread this passion for research. I think it's just, I mean, if talent see that research is fun, and not just boring numbers and tables and bar charts and stuff like that, I think passion can just like jump over like a sparkle that spreads. And I mean, we can share the passion then of like doing research, changing things by sharing it with the new talents.
Honestly, I always believe that, you know, why do people desperately want to work for consultants? Because they earn a lot of money and because it's so difficult to get there. So I think we don't have any hurdles, so everybody can call themselves a market researcher. So I think it would be already helpful to have a minimum as, you know, as a qualification to say, you know, this is a market researcher. I don't want to avoid that people from other industries get into research. I think that might be extremely helpful, but we should have, you know, a minimum qualification for becoming a researcher, because this would mean more value for everybody who works in the industry and also for people who want to get in.
I think one of the things that any industry looking to improve the talent base is that it has to improve the value of the jobs on offer. So if you want to retain your staff in any given company, give them more interesting jobs to do is one thing. If you want to recruit new people into the industry who currently find the industry perhaps a bit dry and a bit lacking in excitement, then you need to make the industry more exciting. And I think that it doesn't go any further than that. We have to be a more interesting and vibrant community of practice, doing more interesting things.
I think that it simply gets broader in terms of who it communicates to and how it communicates and where it tries to draw people from. I think that we're fairly traditional in the sense that we still look for people who come out of business programs or who come out of research, professional and market research programs. But increasingly we are looking outside of that to other disciplines, and I can speak very specifically. Two of the most talented people that currently work for me, both of whom joined General Mills in the last 5 years, one of them has a degree in English literature and one of them has a degree in sports psychology.
Fantastic.
And so being able to, now the first trick was getting them in, and the second trick is the one that you allude to, which is how do you keep people energized and keep the kind of creative juices flowing against the issues that are out there?
You know, honestly, I think we have in the last 20 years all been accidental researchers. Yeah, so we've all kind of emerged into this profession by, you know, through following very convoluted pathways. I think what is lacking is also a top of mind kind of an awareness among the industry, among MBA students and grads, that this is actually a very exciting, very intellectual, very multidisciplinary profession. And it's a great career option if you really are good enough.
And the winner is the lovely, the singer, Namita.
I went to the young researchers' presentations yesterday, and I was absolutely astonished and bowled over by the content, the poise of them, and everything they presented. I know they were a little bit disappointed that not more people were in the audience, actually. So I think there's some learning we can take from that we can give them a wider audience.
It's funny that we do market research, but probably we're not as good as doing marketing about what we do. When you think about the challenges that we're facing and the richness of what we do, right? You wonder, why don't we communicate better how rich and how motivating it is to do what we do these days, right? Especially if the environment is changing. So I think that our first challenge is to really communicate that to be a good and value-added researcher, either on the supply or in the research side within a company, you need to have a lot of skills that are not commonly known for people that stereotype what a researcher is. And in this Congress we're exploring that. I mean, in this Congress what we're trying to do is kind of like make sure that people understand the context of the change and understand how to respond to these challenges. And we see there are multiple skills that we need to acquire to respond to that challenge. And I think that is a motivating challenge for people that are currently in the industry and for students that look for something to do in their lives.
We have to make market research sexy. And I use the words deliberately. It's so un-market research to, I'm afraid, talk about sex in the same sentence as research. And I think it is the kind of geeks will inherit the earth, but it's the kind of geek chic, not the geek thing. You know, I'm afraid, you know, market research can be so dry and so statistically wrapped up in its own kind of importance.
From what I saw in this conference, market research is becoming more sexy already.